Doctor, how are you?
Hi, great, thanks.
Oh, that's good to know. It's a great honor to have the opportunity to have this interview with you from Taiwan. And we all know that your books are the bestsellers on Amazon, rated 5 stars. And also you're famous for a marketing expert and also a doctor persuasion. So I have a few questions here to ask that from your books, we know that you started your career from being an attorney and economist. So what is the turning point for you to become a marketing expert and doctor persuasion?
Okay, hi, Madi. First of all, it's great being here in Taiwan. My turning point was I studied in Israel law and economics. And in my first year, I joined the debate society in my university. The debate society is like an argument contest, a competition between two parties. When we try to convince, it's in front of professional judges and audience. And we try to convince the judges or the professional audience. So I competed in debate competitions in Israel and all over the world. And I won many trophies, many achievements. One of them, I was number 3 in the world in 2003 in the South Africa debate championship, worldwide championship. And I was number 4 in 2002, number 4 in Europe in the public speaking championship. So, and then I realized that the debate method is very, very useful for everyone, and everyone can benefit from it. But the only people who know it are the ones that compete in debate competitions. So I started writing notes in the competitions, and then I started checking, writing those notes, and started lecture about the debate method. And then I made a book out of it, and my first book was published when I was 27 years old. It's called in Hebrew, Speaking in Front of an Audience. But in English, the title was Persuade and Influence Any Audience. And recently we launched a new release. It's called Public Speaking. So actually, I taught the debate system to everyone. If some of the debate methods, for example, are how to say maximum message in a minimal time frame, or how to add jokes and data and stories and examples in your speech, or how to adjust yourself according to the target audience. So I realized that those methods, those tools are very, very important for everyone. And that this was my turning point, when I understand that I can teach everyone, and started writing books and notes.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have 2 questions that's about business for you.
Yes.
The second one, the question is, if there is a gas station that's making a lot of money, and you want to have a business there, so what will you do?
If I would like to open a business like a restaurant,
yes,
or something
yeah.
like that?
There's a gas station that's making a lot of money in your community, in your society. So if you are going to do business in that community, will you open the same gas station like theirs, or you would do something else?
Okay, great. So great question. So first of all, I would check the size of the market. If there is enough place in town for 2 gas stations, then I will open another gas station. If the gas station already fulfill the needs of everyone in the town, so I will open a business alongside the gas station. But if I open a business, whether it's a restaurant inside the existing gas station, or I will open a competing gas station next to it, I will do things differently. For example, I will get the data of my clients. Each client that is going to fill gas at my gas station will need to give me his details, mobile phone, mail, and a name, so I can run the data and I can remind him next time to come to me and not to the competitors. And I can send him some details about his car, or about how to benefit his car, or how to drive safely, or some practical tools, that I will become not just the gas supplier, but I will become the gas expert. And people always prefer to go to experts. So if there is a need for a second gas station, I will definitely open one. And then I will I will manage my clients better than the existing gas station. And another thing, I can collaborate with the existing gas station and do a publicity together. For example, maybe one big sign in the beginning of in the entrance of the town, you have 2 gas stations here. Or maybe to have a partnership that I will deal with few types of cars and they will deal with another type of cars, and we provide the customers to one another. So you can think creatively, not just in a competitive way, but in a creative way. So we can add forces and publish together. Okay, so there are a lot of things we can do, but definitely I will check the market, and if there is a need, I will provide a solution.
Because on internet there is a story about the gas station. When a Jewish person, he opens a gas station and make money, and other Jewish people will open different shops like restaurants, like clothes shop around the gas station to gather the people together and make money together. But for Chinese,
yes,
we might open the second gas station and then third gas station and the fourth, and then all the price goes down and no one makes money there. So it's a small story, but it's on the internet. The people, we all know this story. So I was wondering and asked you, and I didn't tell you, so to see your response.
I know the mental differences, but because people are hearing us are young entrepreneurs and young self-employed, and they have ambitions, then you don't need exactly to behave like your parents would have behaved. You can do it differently. In Israel, the fact that we're very little, we're just 9 million people, but we're very successful, it's because we cooperate with one another and we help Israelis all over the world, and we collaborate a lot. So, for example, if I would try to build a restaurant next to the gas station, I will turn to the gas station and offer a partnership or something like that. I won't compete, because when everyone competes, it's like you said, it's become price market when everyone loses. And I'm talking about the value market, how to create as much value as possible for our clients, and then everyone win. So instead of lose-lose situation, it can be win-win situation. But it's only if you think creatively and not in a competitive way, and only if you're willing to collaborate with a lot of people.
Yes, so we can see that you also have to observe and also to put your shoes in your customers' shoes and think from them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then the next question goes to, if you're going to buy a car or a house, how would you do? How will you do it to persuade?
Okay, first of all, don't be under pressure, because if you're under pressure, it costs you money. So if, for example, I come to a house and I love this house, and I will tell the owner, oh, it's amazing house, it's great house, I love it. So obviously the price will go up. And if I would like the price to go down, then I can be, to behave myself. And even if I'm inside very, very happy, not to show it, and to ask a lot of questions, and to implement that I have lots of offers, that I'm checking other houses as well. And, and that way, instead of me getting nervous or in pressure, the owner will get nervous and pressure, and would like to close the deal with me. And another thing is if I will build my professional authority, and I would look serious, and I will look as someone that have the money and has the money and can pay the money, okay? Then the guy that's selling me the house will say, okay, he's reliable, I can trust him. It's good for me to do business with that guy. So the more expert I am, the more money I save or I gain, because people would like to do business with me. So I will invest both in asking lots of questions, or maybe check disadvantages in the house in order for the price to be much cheaper, and also to provide some professional authority in the eyes of the owner in order for him to want to do business with me.
Okay, so when you talk about the marketing copywriting for persuasion, besides you mentioned about write it like you're talking, what else can we put that into practice?
Okay, so first of all, the innovative tools in marketing is to write content, good content, and then to have a call to action through this content. So beside write like you talk, because most people that try to be a novelist or something like that, but you create a content, you need to speak or to write very clearly like you talk. So beside that, we have a few more rules. For example, you need to have a clear call to action in the end. And my intention is to have people come to meetings with me, to a consulting meeting, and pay me money. Then in the end of the story, I need to have call to action. For example, would you like me to help you as well in this problem? Do you sympathize with the story? Would you like to have a meeting with me? Then call me now and to write my mobile or my email or something like that. So when we write content, it can be a website page, it can be a landing page, it can be a post on Instagram or Facebook. Then what we do on business is not just giving free content, but we're giving free content and then we have call to action. Another thing, another tool is to write every time one tip only, because sometimes people would like to provide content, for example, an article. So if I have, for example, an article with 10 tips, for example, how to succeed in life or how to succeed in business, and I have 10 tips. If I write all the 10 tips at once in a newsletter or a post, it will be very boring, it will be very long, and people won't read it. And they're even not going to go to the end where there is call to action. So what my advice is, let's split the article and we can give 10 newsletters. Each newsletter will contain only one tip. So we have tip number 1, and next week tip number 2, and next week tip number 3. And that's way people will actually can read the tip, can implement it, and can go to the end.
Okay, so you mentioned that every time you only write one tip, but the one tip has to be very clear and with the detailed descriptions, like for more examples for them to understand like that.
Yes, the tip can be a practical tool. The tip can be a story, one story each time, a success story that I have personally, a success story of one of my clients, success story, for example, of an actual event or something like that. Another tip I can give you is write about actual events that happen in real life, because people already talk about those events. So if I give my perspective to that event, people will talk more about me. I check every time my posts on Facebook, and I'm looking for the conversion rate, where people read me the most. And I can tell you that posts that are about actual events were the ones that people read the most. I can give you an example. Now we have the coronavirus, COVID-19, and in Israel there was some of the hotels, because most of the hotels are closed in Israel because of the quarantine. So some of the hotels, they turned into a Corona hotel. They signed with the government on agreements that people with Corona will stay in that hotel, and the government will pay for it. So I wrote about it, and I wrote, is this a good move business-wise? Because now the brand of the hotel is the Corona Hotel. Maybe 1 or 2 months from now, it will open its gates to everyone. And then I asked whether people are going to go to this hotel on a regular basis. So once I wrote about something that everyone on the news talk about it, then a lot of people read my article. A lot of people responded to my article because it was very interesting, because they already speak about it anyway. And now I added my perspective. And obviously when they respond, I can respond back, and then I can get those responded turning into a paying customer. Some of them will turn into paying customers.
That's a very practical tip, because you give a real story and also your perspective, and then you maybe guide them to respond to your questions. Yes. So you have more interactions. That's very good.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So next one, we all know that how unique the Jewish education is, and we would like to know that how you educate your kids in some special occasions, like when they're having arguments. We know you have 2 boys, or when they don't eat dinner. So what do you do with that? And what can we do with Chinese? What can we do to improve our education and persuasion in our society, so we can feel relate and get inspired?
Thank you. So first of all, in Israel, I know that Israel is a role model, like as parents all over the world, because the way we educate our children, we educate them to be self-employed and entrepreneurs, because we are a very small population. In Israel, we're just 9 million people. 9 million people will make a lot
9
of
million
noise.
people.
That's it. Yes, we make a lot of noise. Yes, but we are just 9 million people, and we are a very, very small country. We're just 22,000 square kilometers. That's it. It's a very, very small country, and we are surrounded by enemies. Okay,
Yes.
so we're in the middle of the Middle East. So what in Israel we educate our children is, when you have your knowledge, for example, you need to expert your knowledge, because the Israel economy is an island economy. That island that's surrounded by sea, Israel is surrounded by enemies. So it's a very small market. So you can't just rely on this market. So immediately, if, for example, a 25 years old in Israel opens a company, immediately he thinks how to import the company and how to succeed in American market, for example, or European market, or Southeast Asia market. And also, if I wrote a book, for example, immediately I think how to sell these books worldwide, and not just in Israel. So we educate our children always to have doubt in things, not just say yes immediately to everything, which makes it, by the way, it's difficult in the education system. Yes, that we educate our people to think, not just say automatically yes for everything, not just agree with our teacher, for example, but sometimes to question the orders, okay, and always to think big, to think creativity. So one of the tools that I can give you that you can also implement in Taiwan is that if you try to convince someone, okay, you need to think about their interest, not your interest. For example, you talked about how can I persuade my kids to eat more. Let's say, by the way, it was a problem that I had in my house with my 2 kids. So if I will tell them that they need to eat more because the food costs a lot of money, and I had a lot of troubles buying the food, or for example, that they will be healthy 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it's not relevant for kids when they are 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old. It's not relevant. So it's my interest as a parent, but it's not their interest. So if I try to persuade them, I need to talk about their interest. For example, you have a 10 years old, he doesn't eat much. So if I tell him you will be healthy 20 years from now, not relevant. But if I tell him you play soccer and you know that you need lots of energy to play soccer, so if you eat well, then you have lots of energy and you can score goals. Okay, something like that. And then it becomes his interest to eat now, okay? Or,
Okay, so
for example,
first you observe their interest, they like to play soccer. And
yes.
then if they want to win or they want to have good grades on soccer, they have to eat more to have more energies to play that.
Yes. Another example is that, let's say my kid doesn't want to prepare homework, okay, at school. He doesn't want to prepare homework. Now, if I will tell him you need good grades in order to get accepted to great universities 10 years from now, and in order to have great job 20 years from now, it's not relevant. It's a very distant away. But if I will tell him what happened last time that you came unprepared to the class with no homeworks, and then suddenly he tells me that the teacher asked him and he was very embarrassed, or that he was very nervous and he was afraid that the teacher will approach him, or that the fact that he answered something wrongly and then the teacher and then everyone laughed at him, or something like that. Then I can tell him, if you don't feel that anymore, then prepare your homework. Go prepare to your class. So let's invest half an hour now at home, prepare homework, and then tomorrow you will go to the class, relaxed, with comfort. You don't need to worry that someone will ask you questions. You don't need to worry that everyone will laugh at you. So this is how I make him do homework now, not because something that will happen 10 years from now, but because something will happen today or tomorrow.
So you have to observe them, what they like and what they dislike, their interest, their weakness. Wow.
Yes, I need instead of selling them the solution, I need to sell them the problem, sell them the need, because they don't want to eat, they don't want to have to do homework, but this is the solution. I need to tell them what is your problem now, that homework or the meal is going to be the solution. This is how I can convince them. By the way, you can do it also in Taiwan and everyone worldwide, because everyone is interesting, first of all, for themselves, for their own self.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.